My ex-GF is with the guy she cheated on me with, and they are in the same college as me. I, 20M, met first love during college 2 years ago. Things were perfect, and me being the guy that all his life felt pain so deeply, as I was my entire life dealing with all kinds of problems that should not be inflicted on a little kid, treated her like an angel, sacrificed my friends and my family for her, because I gave her all my time, that I neglected them all. She was in a bad time in her life, so I helped her with all a man could possibly do. Eventually things got closer between us, and with time we became partners. About 3 months in our relationship, she went to this course and ended up meeting this guy that is in the same college as us, so they started talking, and I, being the perfect guy and had all my trust in her, didn't say much in the matter. I felt something wasn't right, but I never said anything. With time, they started going together to this course, and after it they would go to their way home together and all these things. She told me, but I never said anything, and then one time we were sitting together in a class, and I saw her looking at him the same way she looked at me at the beginning of our relationship. At this moment, my heart shattered into pieces. I never felt so much pain at once. I thought nothing could hurt me anymore, after all I was gone through all my life. But it did. After that incident, I started implying to her about these little things that happens between them as politely as I could, and never got mad at any response she gave me, until one day she told me that she sat with him the entire day, and I need to think about some things. My response was, "You think you like him?" And her response was, "That is what I need to think about." After that message, I threw my phone at the wall and cried so hard for the first time in 3 years. I remember my mom walking into my room and saw me like that. She bursted into tears so hard that she couldn't hold herself. I went out of the house and kept thinking about every little thing about me, and why someone who never hurt anyone all his life would have to endure such pain, and kept asking, after all I have done, am I really not enough for only one person? A couple of days later, I got my phone fixed and saw that she blew my phone with messages and calls, and I read them. And then she confessed to all the things she has done with him. They held hand. He hugged her, and she slept on his shoulder once. I know this may not look to people like cheating, but we are a religious country that sex doesn't happen between two people until marriage, so this is in my head is exactly like having intimate relations with someone. I stopped talking to her for a couple of days, and then I answered one of her calls to hear her crying and keep swearing that he is nothing to her. And me, also being the naive guy that still trusts her, started to calm her down and telling her that everything is okay. We slowly worked things out until one day I saw her talking to him again, and that was the first time I ever yelled in her face. She started crying and saying she was sorry, and then I told her to cut all ties with him, and then she told me that she can't because she can't handle to cut ties with anyone in her life. And that was her reason for why she never removed him from all her social media accounts after she said that I left her there and walked away. And that also is the first time I left her alone in the street. After some time of that and some crying and apologies of her, I told her it's okay. But after that we had arguments every day for weeks and weeks, and I started changing my behavior, was more like my father. Anything would get to me, and every little thing would get me yelling and angry, and started treating all people like shit. In one of our arguments, she said that she never did anything wrong, and all she doesn't understand, why was I even hurt when she was with him? I said everything I always wanted to say to her, told her about every single time she hurt me, and every single thing that I sacrificed for her, and was so angry that I didn't know how I was saying all these things anymore. I was the most awful version of me, and broke up with her. A month later in college, she came and started talking about how she never knew I did all these things to her, and kept crying, and asking for a second chance. And yes, I gave her that chance, but after all that, I was already someone else. I was not the person she knew. I changed a lot. My behavior was nothing like before, and started making arguments over every little thing she does wrong because I could not stand being hurt anymore. And I kept saying to her that if you ever don't like the way I am, leave, and I will never utter a single word. In the last 2 months of our relationship, I did hurt her in a lot of ways. I'm not an angel myself. And after a huge argument, we broke up again a month after that. My grandma D*, and a week later my father was hit by a car and was in the hospital for a month, and then one day I saw her with him spending the entire day together, and things are getting closer between them. How do I deal with all of this? Because I'm just D*, and inside, and I can't remove her from my life. Because she is in the same college groups with me, and him and her are in front of me every single day together. Can someone just tell me what to do because I don't have anyone beside me and my friends are not the kind of people to open up to? Can someone please tell me how can I deal with all this pain because it's just too much?